Hey guys, and welcome back to Eden. So, let's just jump right back in. The girl sitting across from me said that cheerfully as she crossed her long legs from underneath her miniskirt. Her name was Lavinia, Lavinia? Lavinia F. Asai. She was a warrant officer like myself, and we seemed to be the same age. Perhaps that was why she was acting quite friendly with me despite us having just met. They aren't they aren't finicky about regulations, and they won't fault you for the most part if you cut loose when you're off the clock. She had an army brat feel to her, and her personality was refreshing. There also aren't many officers, so a warrant officer is quite a position indeed. Hey, are you listening, Warrant Officer Haruna? I'm listening, Warrant Officer Asai. Didn't I tell you before? Lavier is fine. I don't like my surname all that much, so call me Warrant Officer Lavier. Isn't it weird to attach your rank to your first name? Sorry guys, bleh. I don't mind if you'd like to drop the formalities, at least until I become your superior. She gave me a teasing smile. But you know, Warrant Officer Haruna, don't you think you've been a little too aloof this whole time? Are you not pleased with your current mission? This female soldier and I were the only ones present in this transport helicopter, which could carry 11 troops. Her shrill voice was harsh on my ears, perhaps due to how empty it was. Well, defending a research facility is probably a lackluster job for a warrant officer from the Special Forces. It's not that I'm particularly unsatisfied. According to others, I usually looked quite stoic and always seemed displeased. Well, it wasn't a big deal for a soldier to be unsociable. It's work, so I'm not being picky. I'll go anywhere and do anything if I'm ordered. Well, aren't you modest? Here I thought everyone in the elite unit was an arrogant bastard. I may have been in the Special Forces, but that doesn't really make me an elite. The work we performed was just different from other units. Besides, the unit is no more. I'm no different from you. Is that so? Yeah. It's been 3 months since the unified government had declared the war to be over. My unit was dissolved amidst the rapid disassembly and reorganization of land forces. Many of my former comrades transferred to new units and had gone into space. Several had been discharged and returned to their normal lives, and some transferred to the police force. It was exceedingly rare for someone to be transferred to another terrestrial unit like me. Oh, I can see it! Take a look over there! She spoke remarkably loudly, and looked towards the window behind me. I turned to look, lured by her voice. As soon as I turned around, a tiny island floating alone in the light blue ocean entered my view. There was a rather solemn-looking building standing on the island, concealed by a sheer rock face like some sort of mistaken design. That's it? Yes, your new post. Research Facility number 703. Eden. They were only 2 on the planet. As we nonchalantly passed through the splendid doors to the building, I halted and set down my bag beside me. I heard I was assigned to a research facility's defense unit. Yes, like I said, this is your new post. Research Facility number 703. She repeated those words I had heard only a moment ago. Wow, it's beautiful. This art is just... it's breathtaking. Like, okay, I am a sucker for really good art, and this is fucking just downright beautiful. The imagery and just every part of this whole visual, like all the visuals, every ounce of it, like lures you in and it immerses you into this game. And this doesn't feel like a visual novel, like how most visual novels, when I play them, it just feels like I'm reading a book that doesn't really have anything to it. But this isn't just a visual novel. This is an experience to me. Oh gosh, I'm crying because I'm so moved. I took a better look around the entry hall. Well, this is certainly something. I bet it isn't quite how you pictured a research facility. Normally when I think research facility, I think drab concrete exterior with nothing but off-white linoleum corridors inside, as far as the eye can see. But that would have been presumptuous, as this place certainly didn't look anything like what I imagined a research facility would be. Well, you'll understand sooner or later. For now, I'll take you to our commanding officer. Ah, Lavier! Oh, hi. Miss Alicia. What's wrong? You sound a bit frantic. That is because Mr. Callius and Mr. Matsunaga are having a scuffle in the salon. Oh? Oh? What's wrong with that? Sergeant Callius and Corporal Matsunaga are both young. There are times when adolescent blood just boils. But many people got injured trying to intervene. It'll make for some good training. Anyone who can't stop a fight must be getting rusty. But there's more? It appeared to be a duel for your ownership. Ownership? Also, hold on guys. I'm gonna hide that so that I can take a really cute picture. Boop. Okay. Furthermore, the winner will receive an exclusive ticket to force themselves upon you. Who issued those tickets and where? So, should we go or leave them alone? Oh, she's already gone. How quick! Warrant Officer Lavier disappeared like the wind before this Alicia girl could finish talking. How troubling. But Lavier is such a beauty that it really is inevitable. Say, don't you think so? I won't deny that Warrant Officer Lavier has a reasonably good appearance, but... Oh? She tilted her head slightly. By the way, who might you be? I was assigned to this post starting today. I heard. They said a cunning young man with dreadful eyes was coming. Setting my eyes aside, what shall I do now that I've lost my guide? What shall you do indeed? Actually, I have a question as well. May I? Sure, what is it? Just who are you? I would be a maid. Is there a noble living here or something? Impossible! There's no way there would be any nobles around now that people are emigrating to space. If there were, they would be stuffed and placed in a museum. The girl who called herself a maid chuckled cheerfully. If speaking in terms of rarity, wouldn't a maid follow suit as well? In other words, you mean to have me mounted and stuffed? Let's move away from that subject. I couldn't help but feel this would-be maid was off in the head somehow. This is a government institution, even if only for a time. There's no way they would place a maid at such an essential complex. You can't just suddenly appear and deny my existence. My head is starting to hurt. Even if she looked at me with those troubled eyes, I was just as baffled as she was. Maybe I should explain what I do here? No, it's fine. That would just make my headache worse. Anyway, I would like to go see the person in charge here. Could you tell me the way? Ah, you mean Major Inaba? Major Inaba? In that case, why don't I show you the way? Lavier probably will not return until she has beaten Mr. Callius and Mr. Matsunaga half to death anyway. Half to death indeed. This sounds like a dangerous place. Lavier is the only dangerous one. There's no need to be on your guard. It's a peaceful place. A carefree smile rose to her face. The moment I witnessed her smile, dripping with kindness. You're amazing, Ro. Yeah, I'm just gonna pronounce his name like that from now on. I don't care right now. What in the world was that sensation just now? For an instant, it felt like a current had just run through me. I was seeing stars. No, there was something else. I had surely caught a glimpse of something else in that instant. What in the world was it? Oh, it's nothing. Please don't worry about it. I said that as I wiped the sweat from my forehead. If you are feeling unwell, I could get you some medicine. It's really nothing. Please, just lead the way. Huh. Understood. Then let us be off. Party of one, right this way. I slowly followed behind the maid as she started walking. Earlier it seemed like I had just remembered something important. There was no doubt it was an illusion. But why did I suddenly hallucinate? I shook my head. A building unsuited to be called a research facility, and a girl who called herself a maid. I was probably just a little confused after encountering such a strange situation. After opening the door and stepping in, a lone man appeared before me. That man was seated sloppily in his chair and was gazing at me with an uninterested expression. Why are you with Alicia, Warrant Officer Haruna? The man, Major Inaba, went straight to the point. Regarding that, Lavier suddenly had some urgent business to attend to. Well, urgent business usually is sudden. Oh, I see. Very quick-witted. Oh, golly, it's not that quick. What was with this conversation? And so you brought him here, Alicia? Sorry for the trouble. Not at all. This much is but the simplest of tasks. I will do anything that does not leave me at a loss. Or perhaps I should say, it was a good excuse to skip out on work. I wasn't sure what to think of her after hearing that. Well then, it is troublesome, but it is about time I get back to work. Yeah, please take care of her. Alicia smiled sweetly, bowed to the Major, and left the room. When I saw her bow instead of salute, it became clear that she wasn't military personnel. Maybe she really was a maid. What do you think of Alicia? Pretty easy on the eyes, right? His mouth loosened into a grin. I suppose so. You don't seem very interested. Not very at all. Not even a little. Well, it's not an unusual thing in the military, and these days, even God won't say you can't love another man. I didn't mean it that way. In reality, I had some interest in Alicia, but I wasn't captivated by her endowed figure. Something felt out of place about her. Not that I had the slightest idea where that feeling came from. Try and pursue your interests when you can. Superior officers who peered into their subordinates' personal lives were the worst. Now then. Major Inaba corrected his posture slightly and cleared his throat. I suppose I should say you did well to make it here, although it seems there has been some sudden inconveniences from our end. I appreciate your words, but aren't your subordinates a little too undisciplined? I'm a superior officer who respects his subordinates' independence. Isn't it bad for the superior not to take responsibility? He shrugged his shoulders and showed a faint smile. The way his actions and expressions gave off a sarcastic feel had not changed at all from the past. If I recall... If I recall, you were a first lieutenant 7 years ago. I never thought you'd still be a major. Although I'm out of the academy, I'm not even in my 30s yet. Making it to the rank of the major isn't bad at all. No, I thought... What? I thought you were more capable. Not only was there no point, that was not something I should say to someone who was, for the time being, my superior. I swallowed my words. You have not changed much from how you were in the past. It's because I haven't gone through any hardships. There's nothing to age me. He let out a rattling laugh. His face looked a little red, but it was unlikely he would drink in the afternoon. I've already received your assignment documents. Excuse me guys, so you can rest for the remainder of the day. You must be worn out from the long trip, switching straight from plane to helicopter. I have not heard any of the details of my mission. The defense of this research facility, that is all. Understood. Okay then, take these. He rummaged through his desk drawer and took out a thin manila envelope and a single card. This envelope contains assorted documents and a data disk with a rough map of the building. Also, this is your ID. Thanks. Finally, I have some valuable resources for consoling yourself. Consoling yourself on those lonely nights. Would you like to take them while you're at it? I am quite alright. How boring. I took the envelope and ID and returned the guest ID I had received from Lavier earlier. I'll meet you at 0730 and explain the details of your assignment then. This all seems rather sketchy. I have not even received a luggage inspection since I entered the building. It seemed far too insecure, any way you look at it. It's not like everyone gets this type of treatment. Then why are you letting me go through so easily? That should be obvious. Ro Haruna, it's because you're special. Was it so obvious? I understood from his tone that he didn't intend to say any more. I do have a question for you, is that okay? Of course, it's not a problem. There was no way I could refuse to speak to a superior. Ro. His demeanor flipped like a switch, and his eyes stared straight at me. Do you still remember what happened 7 years ago? 7 years ago. The frustration of only being able to cry out. The sensation of a large, heavy fist sinking into my face with a thick thud. A back trailing off into the distance, and tiny footsteps pushing through the grass. I haven't forgotten. 7 years ago is far too short to forget anything. I returned his stare. No matter how sharp his glare, my heart would not sway. Then why don't you pull out your gun? Though I'm sure it won't be enough to satisfy you even if you kill me at this point. Didn't you live to this day in order to stand before me and accomplish that? Oh, did you put in a request for me thinking you'd be killed? You're certainly something. I bet I couldn't even lay a hand on you now, much less hit you. I'm the military's attack dog, the same as you. Any soldier would shoot if given the order. But on the other hand, we couldn't shoot without an order. That's how a trained soldier behaved. The major should have been aware of that. Forget what I just asked. It's a bad habit of mine to run my mouth about things unrelated to duties. It really is a bad habit. You said it. Before I knew it, his eyes had become as sluggish as before. Well then, please excuse me. Yeah. I saluted, and as I went to turn, I halted. He's actually not that bad looking of a guy. Major. What is it? What in the world are they researching here? Oh, I forgot to mention something important. Sorry about that. He clapped his hands together and grinned. His sloppiness might have been the reason he was stuck at his current rank. Even I don't know in great detail. I probably wouldn't understand even if they told me, so I'll keep it simple. She was a key figure in the development of the colony ships, and now she's running data analysis on the ones that are currently in service. Development of the colony ships? Wait just a second. A key figure in the development of the colony's ships. He couldn't mean... Not surprising you catch on fast, Ro. He grinned fearlessly. This is where... This is where she lives. Alright guys, so this is all the time that I have for this episode of Eden. So if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up down below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!